The 2024 Maharashtra State Assembly elections promised to be a very closely fought elections up until the 23rd of this month, or let's say up until the 20th of this month when the state went to the polling booth to vote. And there were several reasons for it. Historically, in the last 2.5 years, we've seen that two regional parties in the state, that is the NCP and the Shiv Sena party, saw a split where either of the side was in the government while the other half was in the opposition. The ones in the government had the support of the single largest party in the state, and that is of the Bharatiya Janata Party. What promised to be a nail-biting finish on the 23rd turned out to be a pretty anticlimactic one, considering that the Mahayuti was able to humble Maha Vikas Aghadi badly in such a way that it was brought down to an all-time low, and that is just 50 MLAs. Just to put it into some sort of perspective, they had 7 less MLAs than what Eknath Shinde had, and Eknath Shinde's was the second biggest party in Mahayuti, while the first biggest party had a distance of close to 75 MLAs from the second biggest party. This shows the magnitude of the victory that Mahayuti had on the 23rd of this month. And even the opposition accepted it. You know, in the very first press briefing in which Uddhav Thackeray spoke, he was very clear about it, and he said that it wasn't just a wave, but it seemed like a tsunami that took over Maharashtra. But then it also left several people with a lot of doubts, especially in the opposition. They'd clearly not seen this tsunami, as Uddhav Thackeray claimed seeing it coming. And they tried to take it up using the old tried and tested formula of EVMs. While all of these developments started happening on the Maha Vikas Aghadi's end after they were brought down to 50 seats, where the biggest party was Shiv Sena UBT with 20 seats and the smallest party was NCP Sharad Pawar with 10 seats. A lot was happening on the Mahayuti's end as well, right? After winning over 233 seats and 233 plus X, because we are yet to know what is the exact number of independent candidates who are supporting them, everyone thought that the road was clear for the Mahayuti to make a very clear government in just next couple of days, to put forth their chief ministerial face and for the oath-taking ceremony to take place as soon as possible. But that did not happen. Right? When we are shooting this video, it has been close to 5 days. It has been 6 days since the results are out, and the chief ministerial phase has still not become clear. And it is nothing unexpected. Those who have been following Maharashtra's political terrain, which has been quite rough, very well know that the Mahayuti always was going to find itself into this huddle. And the primary reason for it was the two top contenders who were to go against each other for the top post in the state. One was Devendra Fadnavis, an able administrator who has led the state of Maharashtra from 2014 to 2019, becoming the only chief minister to have completed his 5-year term after Yashwantrao Chavan, the first chief minister of the state. And on the other hand was a formidable Maratha face in Eknath Shinde, who had risen from nowhere, right, in 2021-22 when the split happened in Shiv Sena. No one really expected Eknath Shinde to grow the way he did, in not just while speaking in the Legislative Assembly, but also while taking some really difficult and some really important decisions in the state. But who was it going to be who would have led the Mahayuti 2.0 government? Well, there were enough reasons for the supporters of both these parties to go behind each other, right? When you talk about Devendra Fadnavis, he had the very strong support of the RSS. He is considered to be one of the very few leaders who has maintained really healthy relationships with Delhi and with Nagpur. On the other hand, Devendra Fadnavis has administrative experience, and he has basically won the Bharatiya Janata Party, one of its biggest mandate in the recent history, especially in the recent history of Maharashtra. When you talk about Eknath Shinde, well, Eknath Shinde was the face of the Mahayuti, right? He, according to the several leaders whom we talked to in private from Shiv Sena, he was going to be the chief minister of Mahayuti 2.0 government simply because he was leading the Mahayuti government into the election. And secondly, he was virtually, according to them, the most popular face in the state. And when I say popular, I mean popular different sections of population, be it urban, rural, farmers, women, because of the Maji Ladki Bahin Yojana, even the youth and the unemployed sections for whom he introduced or his government introduced multiple schemes. Now, as we speak, Eknath Shinde has just announced that he will not be any sort of a hurdle in front of the top leadership while they are taking the decision to appoint the next chief minister of the state. And by doing that, he has virtually cleared the way for Devendra Fadnavis to become the next chief minister of the state, to become the chief minister of the state for third time. Now, what is it that the opposition is up to? Well, after getting humbled badly, following the election results, the Maha Vikas Aghadi's first reaction was, of course, targeting the EVM. And that has been a tried and tested method, as I've said earlier, because it's not the first time that the opposition has, or especially the Congress-led opposition, has relied on blaming the EVM. But this time around, it seems more aggressive. And secondly, it is not just the Congress party, but it is also the other allies, that is Shiv Sena, UBT and NCP Sharad Pawar faction, who are very aggressive and look very serious while approaching this particular matter.
जब कांग्रेस की सरकार थी तो बीजेपी ने सवाल उठाया था ईवीएम पर। अब मोदी जी के भाषण सुनिए जाहिर सभा में। ईवीएम ये एक फ्रॉड है इस देश में, और जब ईवीएम नहीं रहेगा तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी को पूरे देश में 25 सीटें भी नहीं मिलेगी।
क्या यही बात ये लोग झारखंड के बारे में भी बोलेंगे? जिन राज्यों में ये लोग जीतते हैं उन राज्यों में इन लोगों की आवाज नहीं निकलती, बट जिन राज्यों में ये लोग हार जाते हैं वहाँ पे तुरंत ईवीएम खराब हो जाती है, वहाँ पे भ्रष्टाचार हो जाता है, वहाँ पे चुनाव आयोग के ऊपर उंगली उठने लग जाती है। ये सिलेक्टिव क्रिटिसिज्म कब तक करते रहेंगे?
जब उनके खिलाफ जाता है तो यंत्रणा झूठी, ये आरोप लगाने की बात है। जब उनको हार दिखती है, उनको पता चलता है हारने वाले हैं, तो बहाना तो चाहिए, वो बहाना पहले से बनाते हैं।
When as we speak, a team has been assembled by NCP Sharad Pawar faction, a team of lawyers. Team of lawyers has also been assembled by Shiv Sena UBT faction, for it to represent all those who lost out the election because of the perceived mismanagement of the electronic voter machine in the election. Right, and this is what the opposition is going to take into consideration while leading its fight. While the two regional parties will be taking the legal route, the biggest national party, which is in the opposition right now, that is the Congress party, has decided that it is going to start a movement. It was confirmed by Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, the leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha and the Congress party's national president earlier, and today it was reiterated by Indian National Congress's state president, that is Nana Patole, where he said that in the next couple of days, the Congress party is going to start a statewide movement to demand for bringing back the paper ballot, which they believe is not something that just the Congress party wants, but it is something that the people of Maharashtra wants. Now, he was very, the way he played with words was very interesting. That is Nana Patole. He said it that we're not necessarily against the EVMs, but we are trying to represent the voice of thousands of those people who are, perceivably disappointed and disheartened with the results of the recently concluded state assembly election.
जो भी चुनाव के नतीजा है वो किसी को भी एक्सेप्ट होने लायक नहीं है, ना महाराष्ट्र के पब्लिक को भी है। तो इस विषय का एक मंथन हमने किया है और रास्ता कैसा बनाने का वो, और जनभावना जो है आज महाराष्ट्र का सोशल मीडिया देखोगे तो पब्लिक बोलती कि हमारे वोटों से सरकार नहीं आई है।
Now, as we inch closer to the oath-taking ceremony, we have to understand where exactly are these two, important alliances in the state going. When you talk about Mahayuti alliance, how long will it take for them to put forth a formidable CM face, which in all likeliness is Devendra Fadnavis, at least as of now. But will that be taken well by the Maratha community in the state? Will that give the opposition more reasons to believe that the Bharatiya Janata Party simply used Shiv Sena, the Dhanushyaban symbol and the legacy of Bal Thackeray to come back to power with the thumping majority? And how exactly is the distribution of ministerial berths, of the ministerial positions going to happen there? On the other hand, when you think of Maha Vikas Aghadi, another natural question which comes to one's mind is that there have been several such claims and movements that have been started by the opposition in several states when it comes to EVMs. But how serious are they going to be this time around? Especially after the Supreme Court made it very clear that the opposition blames EVMs when it loses, but does not seem to have any problem when it wins in certain states, like what happened recently in Jharkhand, and before that, of course, in Jammu and Kashmir. And if you have to go to a few months ago, then of course we can talk about Telangana and Karnataka as well. Although the elections have come to an end, although the dust has settled down on the electoral politics of the state, but a lot still awaits us when you talk about this rough political terrain of Maharashtra's politics. With camera person Himanshu, this is Anuj Raite reporting for NDTV from Mumbai.